Alright, sweet. Just going to look over some of Kaduseon's matches. He's a up-and-coming sort of solo pickup player in OCE, and I'm just looking at some of the replays he sent me. Alright, so this first game was versus Boot, who was playing double flat. So,
everybody warmed
see what
up.
happens at the start.
Action!
Alright, so yeah, so Boot dashes forward and he calls brass, and you do a sort of movement option where you like jump into the air, you double jump, air dash back, and JHP. You try and do JHK as well, but you screw it up, feels bad. I guess just work on that. You managed to avoid brass, which is alright. I don't know, this was kind of going alright at this point. And so this sort of interaction where like someone jumps in between your L and your H bomb, it's like a pretty common thing. For double, she can't really mess with her air momentum too much, so she was gonna get hit by that plane. So yeah, I guess it was alright. And now she has to deal with the L bomb, which is pretty tight. Yep, and you get it go, and you do the sit up, and flip, blocks it, and that's really good. And so at this point, when you've got them push blocked, you need to have sort of like a plan. Like, what are you gonna do now? Because when you get push blocked, you have this sort of this space. Like, you're here, he's here. They just push blocked you, and now what you want to do is, instead of just letting like 2 HP just rock, you want to cancel into something so that you can spend that sort of time and space to get some more advantage. So like what I would have done, I would have just like seen that I got push blocked and start charging M item. Or one sort of common thing I do is that I do like a block string, and if I see it blocks, I just do like M bomb then L bomb, and that normally works alright if I get it push blocked as well. Like I like get some space. So that's what you should have done. You should have like made the most of this opportunity that you had from being push blocked. Right. And then you sort of back up. So you kind of, this is a sort of common thing. This is a common pattern where you sort of put yourself into the corner where you don't need to. Being in the corner is pretty bad. So if you have no reason to back up, you probably shouldn't. You probably could have fought from that range, alright. And then you teleported. So this was actually alright. You like to use teleports and M-bangs to sort of get yourself out of the corner a lot, but this one was actually alright, and that's because Boot sort of dash jumped over you. So if someone jumps, in some matchups, like the double matchup for sure, like teleporting when they jump is alright. It's a bit more dangerous against like characters that have good like autocorrect specials in the air, like Fulia or Squidly, for example. But double, yeah, it's not too bad of a decision. And Boot sort of sees that you did that, and then he sort of double jumps to try and gets pressure on. So he does JHP, which you chicken block, and then you push block it. That's alright. You sort of push block the JHP, and you push blocked it on the last hit, so he does get pushed back a bit. So now the sort of next thing that you've got to be thinking of, because Boot's got some advantage here. So he's either gonna hit you again to get more pressure, or he's gonna maybe try and air grab you. So those are like the two things that you gotta look out for. And what you do end up doing is you try and backdash away. So this probably wasn't that advisable, because Boot had a lot of advantage here. So he just does another JHP and it hits. And it would have lost to air throws as well. If you're gonna do like a movement option to try and disrespect this this sort of mix up here, probably the best way to go would to be to like double jump and then block. So because it's safer. It's safer than backdashing, because during your aerial backdash you can't block. So he hits you, he doesn't convert, and he just does it again. And what you do, it's not too bad. I mean, you do like up back again, and this is becoming like a pattern. But you try and stick out jumping light punch, which wasn't too bad. Like maybe like jump forward, light punch would have been an alright way to contest this, but I mean, it's just... like, you kind of stick it out, kind of late. Like, you could have stuck it out earlier. I think if you did jumping light punch a bit earlier, it might have worked. Like, there was a bit of a... Actually, I'll see. Yeah, because you're jumping for a bit, and then here is when you start the JLP. Yeah, it's over here, that's when the animation starts. So if it started earlier, then it probably would have been alright. And then, so now you're up backing a lot, and he was probably just trying to get the confirm, but he goes to kill her, which hits you because you're up backing. And at this point, it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, you're up back like 3-4 times, so that's kind of, I guess, what you get for that. Sort of just mix it up a bit more, I guess. And then get the combo. And if you look here, wait, here, you're holding straight back. This isn't really advisable against double because her high threat isn't that crazy when she's going for a reset. Because with double, they'll pretty much generally just try to go low or go for a throw. If they try and like jump and then do an aerial on the way down, you can pretty much always react to that. So there's no reason to like be preemptively holding back. You should have just been holding down back, or even up back if you thought they were going to throw you. That would be alright as well. And this does stop the combo here. If he did crouching light kick instead of standing light kick in this combo, he would have gotten like an accidental reset because you weren't holding down back. So I guess that's just a thing to keep in mind. This push block as well. This was actually a pretty good push block. Because now, you're pretty much recovered. You'll pretty much recover straight after this. And Double's doing her Luger. So this should be a punish for you. You should get a full combo off of this. Being able to push block in the right times versus Double can get you a lot of mileage. But what you end up doing instead is you do imbang. So yeah, so what you should have done instead of this is you should have just like done a jab or something. Cause so like even though like they were pretty big distance when they were here, but like after Luger is done, they sort of get pulled back in. So by the time the jab came out, probably would have been in range. Yeah, I think that might have worked, or maybe like a 2LK or something. But you didn't really need to do imbang here because again, after Double does gun, she's minus, so it's kind of like the end of her pressure regardless. So there's not really that big of a threat that you need to use imbang here. And if imbang gets blocked, which it does, it's sort of like the end of your turn, definitely. So you just kind of give him his turn again, basically for free, when you should have gotten a punish. Yeah, and he managed to call brass, and it didn't hit you, but like now it's his turn again. Like you are forced to block brass, and he can mix you up now. So what does he do? So he does 2LK, and you do imbang again. I guess the sort of a theme in this is going to be like, look at all the different ways that imbang can mess up. So here, so he goes for a low, but his low recovers fast enough that he is able to block imbang. So this is a thing that happens in a few matchups. Double can actually even punish imbang on block with just like crouching light kick. It's fast enough that you can do that. And yeah, I don't know, I would have just chilled out. Just locked, see what happens, try to push block, get some space. Yeah, I guess you weren't blocking, whatever. So he jumps over your ground bombs. Probably a thing to consider in these sort of scramble situations. Maybe consider like one bomb stuff. because this recovery. I mean, this wasn't even counter hit, so you could have blocked this. So you should have been blocking this. And then he would have landed on the bombs, and then you could have gotten a turn. I don't think he would have been able to convert, but like you could have gotten some more pressure on him. And he even managed to avoid them entirely, which is pretty tight. What were you trying to do with this standing hard kick? I think it looks like you were trying to input teleport. I don't know. I don't think teleport would have been amazing here. Again, like, a thing that often happens is that you kind of get antsy to get out of the corner, and you want to use teleport to do that. I don't know, I would have probably just chilled out. It's not that bad, having to block double. And then try to frame trap with M-Bang, and another way that M-Bang can be beaten is if they call an assist, which is what happens here. Like, you just get punched, and then Boot gets a conversion off it. So that's another way that you can beat M-Bang. So now we've seen Lowe's beating M-Bang, and we've also seen just calling an assist beating M-Bang. So that's another thing. Even gets conversion. Okay, so you are holding down back here, which is alright. Like, holding down back to block the threat of low and throw. But now Double has jumped. Double has jumped. So at this point, you should be seeing that Double has jumped, and you should be thinking, alright, time to switch to blocking high. You should just, like, react to Double being in there. And this is not what happens, you just, like, keep holding down back. So I guess just react to it. I don't know what to tell you. Just practice, I guess. And how do you get hit? Ah, you were mashing M-Bang and just like didn't come out. Wow. It probably would have worked there, but I don't know. You are pretty happy to do that. Sometimes just want to like block it, push block them, get some space. But whatever. But screw up here anyway. M-Bang would have probably worked if it came out. Yeah, and he drops his combo again. And again, if he did 2LK, because you're holding straight back, you would have gotten hit. I think the reason why you're holding straight back here is you're like, I just got hit high, now time to hold back, so I don't get hit high again. But, I don't know, you can react to that. Then at this point, Doubles just did standing hard kick. It's called assist. I know, maybe they'll do a special. That's right, you managed to get a throw. So here, well, let's see what you do. So this probably wasn't the best idea. It's alright when you're sort of doing this mid-screen, but in the corner, you generally want to just do item Argus. Because if you look, anyway, a bit further back. So here's Big Band. So I don't think Big Band would have gotten caught by item Argus, but you have 2 meters. And so if Big Band were to get hit by item Argus, you could have gotten a happy birthday and you had enough meter to get a double snap from this, and that would have completely turned the game around. So instead of that, try and sort of go for a sit-up, but it doesn't really work out, and you just kind of let him get out of the corner for free, and you just sort of corner yourself. He actually does get hit by the bomb, though, which is wild. I guess he didn't expect to have to block that way. That's probably my guess of what happened. But you could have just jabbed. You could have just converted off the bomb into, like, full combo. But instead, you just M-Bang and sort of give up your turn. And that's what ends up happening. What are you doing? Alright, this is another way that you can beat M-Bang. You can jump. Because it's like pretty low to the ground, it's like a horizontal thing. Like just empty jumping and like doing a button. Which is a thing that Boot likes to do a lot anyway. Like this, just the jump HP. It deals with M-Bang pretty well, and that's what happens. Yeah, so Boot should have won. If you just combo into level 3, you actually probably would have won. Yeah. But he's just the level 3 for whatever reason. Yeah, no big deal. It doesn't really... How did he get hit low? Ah, yeah, looks like you are up backing mate, and then you try to throw tick. I don't know. Whatever, you just got mixed up, whatever. I guess this is a good time to talk about, delay ticks. They're pretty good. Like, because you can tick throws while not having to get hit by immediate blow. Yeah, you kind of just, like, died in the corner there.
That's all, folks.
But, like, you had quite a few opportunities to get stuff going. And so, now there's game 2. So last game, at round start, double decide to dash. So, I don't know, what you did, it worked out alright, so.
Everybody mind your marks! Action!
So what happens this time is that double just downbacks and calls brass. I don't know about that. I probably would have thought about maybe shooting the gun, doing some 2 HP, like dash jumping in or dashing in. But I don't know. It isn't that bad. And then you do your play, and Boot actually manages to avoid the plane hit. Really good. He backdashes. So when the plane spawns, it like tracks. It tries to go to sort of like where you would have been when it started. And so Boot would have been here, like Boot was standing there. But he backdashed and he managed to avoid it. You would have been probably gotten messed up if he decided to forward dash instead. That's another thing that you can do. You can avoid it by just like dashing past it. And so you decide to wait, hang on. Decide to dash shot. Yeah, you just decide to dash and think, alright, time to mix. But like you can do that sort of thing, but it's like it's best when the opponent is sort of pinned down by your projectiles and all that stuff. Which isn't really the case here. He was able to like move out of the way of this plane. So probably what I would have done is just like taken that space, charge an M item. Just because that will help you a lot in pinning your opponent down, so that you can actually like go in after them and run your mix-ups. And so this double jump here, so Boot double jumps. This is actually a bad double jump by Boot. At this spacing, because he didn't super jump either, so his normals are all going to come out this way. So they're all going to be like here. You're like over here. So this is a bad situation for Boot. What you should have done is probably something like maybe 2LK. You could have 2LK'd him and it would have pretty much beaten any aerial that he would have sticking out. And I think he already called Brass. He didn't have Brass at this point, so because he double jumped as well, so it was pretty safe. That would have been what you should have done. Instead, you just hit medium punch. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a bang. Like if you look here, it just looks like you messed up bang, which wouldn't have been a good idea anyway. But yeah, 2OK would have been the way to go. You could have positioned yourself to be like slightly under him, sort of hit him. And at this point, so you push it, blocks you away, and you sort of again don't really have a plan for what to do when you get push blocked away or when you get blocked in general. So you decide to like, maybe I'll frame trap him with M-bang, and it doesn't really work out. So, and you sort of just, because you get push blocked. So what I was saying before is when you get push blocked, you're now like this space. And you have a little bit of time. So you can cancel into specials, like you can do bombs, you can charge M item. And so you can sort of get an advantage from that. M item is really good. It's probably Peacock's most important tool. And yeah, so you bang, and you sort of just back up. I don't know. You sort of like to back up even when the position is fine. Like, the position that you're in here wasn't that bad. Because he just jumped forward and did hitty punch. It wasn't gonna hit you. You probably could have. There was sort of like free time to set up bombs item. You probably still could have done that. You didn't really need to give up the space and put yourself closer to the corner, which is a bad place to be in. So there's that. So this is like your standard play. You actually get a hit here. Yeah, nice. He was more pinned down that time by the plane than he was before, because the bomb hit him later. So the bomb didn't hit him immediately, so he had less time to deal with the plane. So it hit him pretty much straight after, and he managed to get a cross up. And wait, do you? So I think yeah, you were just trying to imbang after the teleport. I don't know about that. He got hit by the cross up. You could have just jabbed him. You could have gone to conversion. You even called Big Band here, so that would have been like a happy birthday. That would have been crazy. But instead you sort of just give up your turn. So what does he do this time? So yeah, when someone blocks imbang, it's sort of like that's pretty much the end of your turn. I mean, double can even like if Boot knew what was up, like he could have just been doing a combo because of this, just from 2OK. But it's definitely not the time to throw a bomb. Because it's like there's ways that you can like cheat out of it that like mainly with more imbangs, which sometimes can work. But bomb here, it's like not really your turn, and you just sort of get hit by it. It even hits Big Band, so double didn't really have to deal with it at all. So you just get counter hit, and double gets counter. Good that you're holding down back there. Alright, so you got reset. All good. It's like I guess get mixed up. When someone does this sort of thing, where they launch you and then they sort of like delay for a bit, with pretty much every character in the game, that should be like, you should be sniffing out air throw. And that's just a thing that's probably going to come with more sort of familiarity with how like different character setups work. That's pretty much something that every character does, the sort of like launch delay air throw. It's like super common. But whatever. Let's go. What happens here? Ah, yeah, that's right. He mistracks his undizzy, and you get a burst. I don't know, that's alright. Yeah, and then he just dash jumps and hits you out for your bomb. Feels bad. Yeah, even after you burst against double, like the dash jump HP, she can get to you in a really short amount of time. So yeah, I don't know. And what you do here is you mash Lenny. So this is 100% not a good idea. Because I don't know, there's no real reason to other than just to like get Lenny out. But it has no invincibility, and pretty much everyone, especially double with the crouching light kick, can punish it. Just like on reaction, even if they don't see it coming, they can see it and be like, alright, time for the free punish. And he messes up his chain and you get Mbane, I just like, well, nice. So this is good. Get cancelled into Isaac because now you get the full conversion. And you know it, but you do your light punch a bit earlier, so it drops. And then you do Mbang. So I guess that's another example of like, well, for one, just like practice it and sort of get better at the conversion, but also it's a case of like having contingency plans for when things go wrong. Because even though you sort of messed up, like this isn't that bad because double can sort of tech, you still have a bunch of time. Like there's still quite a bit of time. It's still like a free item if you recognized it, or maybe some bombs. You could have set something up and then sort of like applied more pressure onto double, even though you messed up the conversion. And then, I don't know, you back up again, you get hit by brass. What was the standing hard kick here? You mess up teleport, feels bad. It probably wouldn't have worked anyway, in this situation. Because, double wasn't really pinned down that much, and probably could have just, punished you if you teleported. Either that, you would have just gone punch out a startup. I don't know. Probably just chill out, block, push block, all that fun stuff. And should have ticked out of the corner, my guy. Because it's free. You sort of instead of ending up here, it's like pretty bad. Could end up like here, which is like you have a lot more space before you can't move anymore, and it's easier to sort of get back out there. That's a thing to think about. And you sort of like know that you sort of want to be there anyway, because the first thing you do is teleport. So you didn't need to like take all this risk to be here. Like if you just ticked, you could have already been here for free. And then that sort of just got covered with doubles, jumping hard kick. That's sort of a thing that double can do. She can cover the teleport pretty well with that move, because it just sort of stays in this space where you end up. But he doesn't convert, and yeah, so you go for a throw. So again, I don't think Boot has really gone for much ground throw in this set, so he's mainly been going for jumping heavy punch into more jumping heavy punch, which is something that beats what this thing is. I guess it's just like a read or whatever, but like, gotta have a pretty good reason to read this. And you could have also delayed tick, you didn't have to get hit by this. Nice block, nice push block. That's the way to do it. It's pretty good. Nice. Okay, so this time, you decide to not push block. I think it's just like, I think both deciding to push block the JHP and not deciding, they're like alright decisions to make. I think it's just a matter of being aware of like what sort of mix-ups you open yourself up to afterwards. So if you, because what I was saying before, you push block it, you got to be thinking about hit throw. If you don't push block it, you want to be thinking about low throw. So what are you doing here? Up backing, I think. Looks like you're up backing. You're doing the weird stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, let's just say you're up backing. Like, I don't know, it would have been throw, but like, could have just chilled out. Double's not that scary. Just like block low, delay a tick, push block if you see yourself blocking, sort of get them out of you. This should have been the game. If Boot DX didn't deliver through, this should have been the game, but it wasn't. And then, so, here, taken into the corner again. Should have ticked out. And then you immediately teleported again. And it wasn't really a good idea because, like, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, Big Pan was still entirely free to just... He wasn't even probably, like, reacting to the teleport. He was just doing what he was going to do anyway. Just, like, jump in and do it to OK. And it just happens to work against teleport. But again, you could have been this space here. If you really wanted to here, could have just ticked forward and you would have had the space for free. So that's what you should have done. You didn't convert. And this one is whatever, who cares? Should have lost it. So yeah, that's a match's best.
It's in the can.
And then there's also a match here against Risky, Crazy Diamond, Foul Player. So let's see what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
You do your thing you like to do again. And it's working right. You whiff standing hard kick. So what I think happened here is, it looks like you messed up the quarter circle forward on like the plane, but I think also that maybe the bomb's wrong cooldown. Because you had two, and there was still this one here, so maybe it is a possibility that the other one hadn't entirely disappeared yet. I don't know, just be aware of that stuff. And what do you do now that you've whiffed standing hard? You do that, and it gets sort of like beaten by this. So I guess, you sort of rely a lot on M-Bang as your sort of, I'm in trouble, now I gotta do this. Maybe consider also, doing some other stuff, like maybe L-port or fake teleport. It's like, not like those are that incredible either. M-Bang is probably like the best one for that. I don't know, just maybe sort of force the opponent to be a bit more aware. And the Suzuki, nice confirm. Yeah, so he messes up his combo. I don't know why he got hit by the M-bang. You shouldn't have done the M-bang anyway. Like, you had the block string, you could have just, like, done a block string into just, M-bomb, L-bomb, charge an item or something. You could have seen what was going on from there. But whatever, you got full screen again. Nice. What do you do now? This isn't that bad. You do ground bombs, and you do M-item. Could have just held M-item. Don't waste it. Like, you could have just held it and then used it later on defense. Because you just gave it up so that you could do M-bang. M-item's really good on defense. You don't need to give it up like that. Wait, I think there was something. Ah, yeah. That's another thing about, like, when M-item is locked, you're sort of giving up your turn. So, you don't really have time to charge an item. So, again, it's sort of like about spending your time and your space to set up and get your advantage going. But here, because they blocked M-bang, you really, like, didn't really have much say in the matter. This wasn't really a valid play. But nice, you block, you push block, get some space, do some bombs. This is alright, you have M-item. Nice conversion. That's exactly the type of thing you want to be doing with M-item. And to get a full combo off of that stray hit. Very nice. And you even dump a bit of meter into it. Tight. And to get a whole bunch of damage. And so you decide afterwards to sort of maybe do some kind of setup. It's an alright idea. You still had a little bit of undizzy left. Like, let's go back a bit. Yeah, like, if you look here, you still had a bit of undizzy left. You could have dashed up, gone insane. But this is an alright idea. It's just the thing that you were doing didn't really pin down Valentine at all. Like, I think you sort of did this with the assumption that maybe she's going to take into the corner. Like, all this stuff, like, looks like you're aiming for the corner. Like, this is going to go here in the corner, this is going to go here into the corner. Then you've got the H item coming here into the corner. But really what ends up happening is Risky takes toward instead. So he ends up here, and he went past everything. So you're like, sweet, pinned him down, time to dash up, and he's like, oh, I'm not pinned down. He got hit. Maybe what you should have done instead is, I don't know, if you're going to do this sort of thing, do a pattern that's more effective at pinning them down. Maybe back up first, so that your bombs have some more time to travel, so that they might cover forward tech, and then charge M-item. Because if in this sort of situation, if they ticked into the corner, M-item would have been fine anyway. But if they tick out of the corner, M-item would also be fine because it tracks him. But H-item, it's sort of stuck over here, so it can't really help you anymore. In general, just a quick tidbit, in neutral, if H-item's over here, there are things you can do, like you can back up with like backdash, or stuff like bomb teleport, and that can help get them back into range to an H-item, but it wasn't really a thing to look for here, so you get hit. Yeah, and you whiff a burst here. This wasn't a very good burst. I mean, this sort of stuff just comes with familiarity, but that burst was definitely gonna whiff, and also Valentine can't really follow up from that anyway. There's no real, like, danger that you sort of need to burst. You could have just, not burst and be fine. But he doesn't convert for some reason. And so how did you get here? I think you were mashing him, man. I don't know. That was alright. If they messed up. Cheeky reversal. But, you screw up your motion again. So I guess clean up your motions. That's the thing. He screws up his combo. One thing to know, if you don't know already, about the Valentine matchup, is when this happens, like this thing, when they've whiffed bypass over you, this is a really bad situation for them, because they're in counter hit state from here, like, for ages, like, all the time that they're in the air afterwards until they hit the ground again. So you kind of, like, didn't need to hit her immediately. You could have just, like, waited and sort of hit her close to the ground, maybe like a 2LK, 2MP. But M item was fine. It sort of hit her. You could have just maybe tried super jump forward, light punch, medium punch, ADC to try and convert. Maybe that might have worked. Instead, I think you just back up and get hit. I know. Go ahead and shift. Okay, so you were up backing here. You up back that overhead. I mean, you've been up backing a lot, but it's actually good here, because up backs do pretty well against overhead resets. And that's what Risker was going for, so it happened to work out. And you block and push block. Neat. And you set up some bombs. Good. So with the scalpels, it looks like I'm pretty sure you already had committed to the M-item. I'm pretty sure you didn't do it post-flash. Yeah, it looks like you already committed to it. So at this point, like, you were gonna die. There was nothing you could do about it. That's, I guess, a thing to look out for with characters that can sort of, like, call out your zoning with supers. With Valentine's, Scalpels, and a few other, if you just do, like, standing hard punch, and they do super, you can just teleport post-flash and punish him, like, do M teleport, then do jab. That's sort of like a thing that works in other matchups as well, like against Double's car, which isn't really a thing Boot was doing, but it's a thing you have to look out for against Double. But yeah, I don't know, he didn't really do it before. Sometimes this stuff just happens, this is no big deal. So you lose around for that. And good, get yourself out of the corner. Probably you should have tried and jumped over him sooner. But at least you did it all, so you managed to get out of the corner and managed to get some space. Neat. Yes! Good. Charging M item covers this space here. Doing gun, cover this space here. That's some good shit. Didn't need to preemptively drop this though. Could have just waited, see if he came in. If he didn't come in, you could have just kept it out. Throw some more bombs, maybe try and get closer to him, push him to the corner. So that he gets back in range of this so you can use it. But this was alright as well, this wasn't too bad. And you're charging M item a lot more, so big fan. A lot more usage of M item. Which you weren't really doing this boot. And it works out for you, because he does super again, but your bombs are already there, so it doesn't. So here you're sort of doing this pattern, and I don't know, you're not really getting much from it. Yeah, it's not really pinning Valentine down, so you just kind of get hit for it. It's actually like really good to do that sort of stuff when you have like an M item charging and you have like a big threat for in front of you. You don't really have that at that point, so I don't know. Maybe back up, throw some bombs, something like that. What happened here? Trying to think. What this 2OK might have actually hit if you don't cancel it, or if you did it slightly later. I think it might have worked out for you. Regardless, this teleport wasn't amazing. I don't. Whiskey didn't punish it somehow, but it was definitely very punishable. Like no counter hit, and then you just sort of up back and he hits you low. Yeah, I don't know what the setup is, but you didn't tick. Could have ticked. Could have ticked sword. Could have been. You didn't have to be over here. Could have been over here for free. That's really good. And then after that, see, he tries to do an overhead. He screws up the timing, and you up back. It would have worked against that overhead setup, so whatever. He tries to grab you. Alright, so this is another situation where it's like, you could have just hit him and could have converted off that Avery. But you did M-bang instead, and this is like yet another thing that beats M-bang throwing. So I think we've like gone through pretty much all the things that beat M-bang. Like all the common things from the whole cast. That's pretty crazy. In this, just these 3 matches here. And then pretty much the same exact situation plays out, which is crazy. Like again, you could have just It works out a bit better for you the second time, but you could have just hit him again, like. And also, oh, wait. This point didn't have to be over here. It could have been over here. And also, in this hit, you could have just hit him. Could have gotten full combo. And you had like 3 bar. You could have dumped a lot of. You could have done some serious damage. But whatever. You went for a throw. Maybe you did a mix up. Crazy did throw last time, so he was probably trying to do it again. Working out for you. This teleport wasn't amazing. They weren't really pinned down by anything. There wasn't any sort of thing coming along to sort of cover your teleport. He, Crazy could have just punished. He didn't though. And then you in-banged. And he could have punished it again, because he sort of like went to the other side, but it didn't really work out. Nice! Okay, that's the good shit. That's definitely the good shit. That's that pretty delayed tick. That is what you want to do against the low throw. Definitely try and do that more. Especially this one. Yeah, that's good. So how did you... so that's like another case of you sort of messing up your special input feels bad. Looks like you want a double bomb. That would have been alright. But like, cause you whiffed your thing, it's like, now you gotta have a contingency plan. And often, like, just cause you messed up your input, doesn't mean you have to like do it again to sort of like show that you can do the input. Like, by the time you sort of whiffed it, like, the time to L-bomb was sort of already over. Should have been thinking about maybe something else. Maybe like a teleport. Maybe not necessary. I don't know. You're kind of screwed here, to be honest. Actually, I think could have maybe just chilled out. Yeah, because you pressed hard kick, so you probably had time to just like block or take a throw. I don't know. And then Risky is a total scumbag, whatever. Can't believe this shit. He made you watch. That's all the matches.
Player 2 wins.
So I guess, main sort of things. I don't know, what are the main sort of takeaways from this? Use M item a lot. You should use it more. The times where you used it well against Risky, it sort of paid off well for you. Do that sort of thing more often. Don't screw up your specials. I guess practice that. Make sure that you don't screw them up. And have sort of contingency plans ready for when things don't go the way you expect them to. So when you're just like stuck whiffing a normal or something, like be ready to like see that situation's there and like cancel into an item. Or cancel into bombs and stuff. And some general defense stuff, do more delay ticks. That's nice. And tick out of the corner. That's another thing. Anyway, I hope this helps. Sweet. See ya.